Bonjour à tous et merci de vous joindre à moi aujourd'hui ici à Maurice en marge de la retraite annuelle des régulateurs des secteurs des assurances et des fonds de pension ici en Afrique. In a very few minutes, I will be embarking on a very interesting conversation with two leading voices in the field about how collaboration and innovation across regulators can enhance the insurance market and also make sure that we have a very resilient insurance market across the continent.
I would like to see regulators working collaboratively across sectors, across regions, across the continent.
On ne peut pas suivre les innovations actuelles tout en se gâtant, par exemple, dans l'assurance paramétrique, sans qu'il y ait cette collaboration, cette coopération.
We will be also discussing how regulators can foster inclusion and make sure that trust is achieved when it comes to the final customer. Please stay with me because the future of the insurance market is built right here, right now, and together. Thank you very much, Dr. Zakaria and Mr. Abdurrahman, for joining us today. As you know, at ARC Limited, we are a specialized entity of the African Union, and our objective is to make sure that we build resilience when it comes to climate change. And by doing so, we have understood that it is very important for us to engage with regulators, to have that, collaboration in order to make sure that we are not only getting into countries, but make sure that there is a lot of not only communication, but also some capacity that it builds on the local market when it comes to climate change. One of the key things we have been discussing since this morning at the retreat here is the necessity of collaboration between the regulators across the continent. And I would like to ask you to introduce yourself, and also I wanted to know why, in your view, regulatory convergence is important when it comes to Africa insurance markets. So thank you very much.
So my name is Abiba Zakaria. I am the acting regulator for National Insurance Commission in Ghana.
Thank you. And to your view, why is the convergence important?
As you said earlier, we've been talking about collaboration because we are moving into a different era now. We are moving into an era where we are talking about inclusive insurance. That's a very new field for us in insurance industry, or even in the financial industry for that matter. So once we collaborate, we're able to share ideas and to support and guide each other in that journey, because it's new, it's going to be a very long journey. There are going to be a lot of learning steps ahead. And so if we collaborate, that was helpful. The other thing about collaboration is we've been talking about African unity for a very long time, and we've taken baby steps towards it. But I want to say that in the last few years, we have taken very giant steps towards African unity. And there's no better area to do that than in insurance as well. So that it gives us the strength. In unity lies the strength. It gives us the strength to be able to negotiate from a strong perspective as one continent, than for every one of the 50 countries trying to negotiate and finding a foothold on their own. We also get to share information and data across the sector so that we learn from each other's mistakes and improve on each other's mistakes and work together. We also learn to empower the entities that work within the industry if we collaborate. So for example, the skill set that we learn from one country can easily be transferred into another country. So instead of countries learning new things that others have already perfected, we can build on each other's strength and be better to provide a kind of security or insurance support that the continent needs. If we collaborate, since we have similar challenges, we are likely to find solutions that are more efficient and effective for us as regulated entities and also as a continent as a whole. So for me, I think that collaboration should not just be even among regulators in the same sector. We should even collaborate beyond the sector, beyond just insurance to non-insurance as well, and just beyond just regulators to other entities as well. If we can do that, we will definitely be building on our strength and we'll do better in the future.
And if we take into account the fact that financial sector is not only insurance, but it's banking, pension funds, and
Exactly.
also all the actor view on that is very important. Monsieur Abderrahmane, merci d'être avec nous aujourd'hui. Madame
Merci.
Commissioner faisait référence au fait que la collaboration est très importante, surtout lorsqu'on parle d'unité africaine. Pouvez-vous vous présenter tout d'abord?
Et Monsieur Abderrahmane, des îles Comores. Je suis ici pour la représentation du commissaire des assurances en Union des Comores. Je suis dans les assurances depuis il y a quelques années. Et voilà, je me retrouve ici à Maurice pour cet échange dans le cadre des retraites, des assurances, des retraites et des pensions.
D'accord. Comment, selon vous, les régulateurs doivent-ils adapter leur modèle pour faire en sorte que l'assurance paramétrique puisse être adoptée de manière plus large et pour faire en sorte qu'il y ait une collaboration entre les régulateurs du continent?
Pour les régulateurs, je peux dire qu'ils ne peuvent pas, on ne peut pas suivre les innovations actuelles tout en se mettant, par exemple, dans l'assurance paramétrique, sans qu'il y ait cette collaboration, cette coopération pour pouvoir suivre les changements de technologie actuelle comme ça va vite. Il faut s'y mettre pour mettre cette collaboration pour pouvoir travailler ensemble et de suivre les innovations actuelles liées au changement climatique, surtout dans le cadre de ces outils qui ne cessent de se remplacer à tout moment, tels que les innovations de l'IA ou la SCA, que nous aujourd'hui on vient de faire approprier par la voie de, par exemple, l'assurance risque capacité.
Merci beaucoup pour cette réponse. Mr. Abderrahmane was touching on the fact that when it comes to parametric insurance, the collaboration is much more critical based on the fact that innovation is always a step ahead the regulator, and that collaboration is very key in that essence. To your view, what are the challenges that make that collaboration, especially when it comes to parametric insurance, a bit difficult to achieve?
So the reason why collaboration usually is difficult, especially when it comes to parametric insurance or even like inclusive insurance products like that, is basically because of the fragmentation that we have. We have different regulatory structures and systems. So what is acceptable in one regulation and a country is different from the other, or even how to get, say, license from one country is different from how to get license in another. The kind of products that are acceptable are different. What even the cultural traits are different. So because of that, makes collaboration difficult. And then also how the kind of data we gather and how we analyze and transform those data also differ from country to country or from regulator to regulator. What the levels at which regulators have achieved. Some regulators are just beginning. Some regulators have gone further ahead. Some regulators are asking for higher capital. Others are pushing for risk-based provision and all of that. So because of all of those differences, it makes collaboration quite difficult and quite of a challenge. And itself is also the fact that people don't even trust our products too well. So parametric, for example, was developed to support the ordinary person and mainly the agri sector. But the question is, it's not taking off the way it was supposed to take off because of the trust issue. However, in some countries, this has done much better than other countries. So, and what will let people from different countries trust? What will cause somebody in Comoros, where he is coming from, to trust a product might be totally different from what will let somebody trust a policy in Ghana, for example. So all of those issues come together and make the pushing of these products, us collaborating to push them, difficult. But I believe that these conversations that we are having, it's all our way of working towards that collaboration, and it will work.
And I agree with you on the fact that these conversations are important. At the same time, when we are designing, for example, parametric insurance product for vulnerable population, what is key is for them to understand the product as well. So how do regional initiatives like ARC Limited together with the regulators can help foster this trust? And I know this is something that is very important for you. You've mentioned it at occasion, but how do we believe that regional institution can help the regulator achieve that trust?
I think that for ARC, for example, because you go beyond one country, you are working with several institutions within the continent, you would have gathered some data, some information that is very useful. And that kind of, from that position of knowledge, you could share experiences from one country to another. You could pick from others to share with, so that we learn from each other and see. Like I said earlier, the conversations help. Sharing the results of your finding, the results of these conversations across helps. It makes us understand that we have the same concerns and the same challenges. And so perhaps what would work here may not fully work completely here, but we can tweak it in some instances to let it work. In other words, ARC can be sort of the glue that holds or guides the conversations to a focal point, to a much more direct point. And so we allow for our differences in those conversations, but we don't lose focus of where we want to go. And then we can still do it on the key issues that matter, and the ones that are not that important, we can then say, okay, let our differences handle that. In other words, let the country-specific experiences manage that, while we focus on the key issue, which is inclusive insurance and making sure that people have financial support in the event that they suffer a challenge. And of course, training is also a great way to go with, and sharing products that have succeeded is also another way to go. So I think ARC is in a position to help.
Thank you very much for that. This is very encouraging. Monsieur Abderrahmane, nous échangeons avec Dr Zakaria sur l'importance de la confiance dans le produit qui est mis sur le marché, et notamment sur les différences qu'il peut y avoir sur certains d'un marché à un autre, sur ce qui est attendu du consommateur final. L'assurance paramétrique, l'assurance indicielle qui sont mis en place généralement pour des populations vulnérables. Quel est, de votre point de vue, en basant sur l'exemple du courant, ce qui doit être fait pour pouvoir renforcer cette confiance-là sur votre marché?
Tout d'abord, je tiens à exprimer ici que nous avons vécu cette expérience au moment des catastrophes naturelles. On a vu comment ça nous a permis tout d'abord de prendre en compte de tout ce qui nous arrivait pour pouvoir instaurer des cadres institutionnels et réglementaires qui nous permettraient de suivre les meilleures pratiques internationales dans un cadre de surveillance de risques pareils. Toutefois, pour mettre la confiance aux populations vulnérables que nous avons pu accuser autant des risques qui a été survenu aux Comores, comme le Kenya et consorts, il est temps de faire une très grande sensibilisation au sein de la population vulnérable, tel que dans le domaine de l'agriculture, que c'est eux-mêmes qui ont subi ces grands risques. Aujourd'hui, toute population aujourd'hui est exposée à des risques et la vulnérabilité lui incombe. On est là pour essayer de sensibiliser les gens pour les gouvernements, pour qu'on s'inscrive dans un cadre de souscription des assurances liées aux catastrophes qui serait un peu plus bien financé par les gouvernements en subvention et chercher des partenaires qui vont nous accompagner avec une participation en subvention individuelle généralisée qui va pas léser les secteurs vulnérables comme les agriculteurs. Et faire des échanges en coopération avec les pays pour pouvoir échanger, avoir un seul objectif tout en tenant compte des contextes de chaque pays pour pouvoir améliorer dans des cas pareils.
D'accord. Là, vous touchez au point relatif à la sensibilisation sur le terrain. Mais lorsqu'on parle de confiance, on parle non seulement de sensibilisation, mais aussi de la structuration du produit en lui-même, du produit. Donc, ma question est de savoir quels sont les outils aujourd'hui qui sont mis en place au niveau du régulateur au Comores pour pouvoir s'assurer de la robustesse de ces
Pour la
produits.
confiance, je tiens à vous dire que pour l'assurance ordinaire qui était axée sur l'indemnisation, aujourd'hui on parle de l'assurance paramétrique qui est là pour pouvoir indemniser en cas de risque à temps réel, mais pas comme les assurances, je vais dire analogiques ou bien ordinaires qu'on était en train de personnaliser dans le terrain.
Comme une assurance incendie, par exemple, on n'est pas du tout dans le même setup. L'assurance le produit d'assurance tel qu'on le connaissait jusqu'à maintenant était un produit qui venait indemniser et quelque part, en fait, remettre l'assuré dans la situation dans laquelle il était avant que le risque ne survienne. Alors que lorsqu'on est sur de l'assurance paramétrique, c'est un peu difficile de remettre, en fait, une fois qu'une catastrophe naturelle survient, de remettre l'assuré, en fait, dans les mêmes conditions. L'objectif est ici de pouvoir mitiguer l'impact en fait de ce cyclone ou de cet événement de sécheresse sur ce foyer-là ou sur cet agriculteur-là.
Je peux rajouter là-dessus que pour les assurances paramétriques, ça permet aussi de ne pas faire léser ceux qui ont subi ces dégâts ou ces aléas. Ça va sécuriser non seulement leur productivité, leur production, la production, mais aussi de leurs propres revenus, qui pourront se relever, ils ne vont pas se laisser pour compte, comme ça peut instaurer encore cette...
Mais du coup, comment est-ce qu'il y a des outils qui sont mis en place au niveau de votre régulateur au Comores pour déjà la première question, est-ce qu'il y a des entreprises en local qui sont capables d'offrir le risque paramétrique autre que par exemple d'autres entités régionales? Ça, c'est la première question. La deuxième question, c'est de savoir si oui, quels sont les outils qui sont mis en place pour s'assurer que ces produits-là sont robustes et justement qu'elles puissent inciter le consommateur final à avoir confiance.
Pour ce qui est de l'assurance paramétrique, on commence à l'état embryonnaire, vous le savez. Il y a l'assurance risk capacity qui était déjà aux Comores maintes fois pour passer des entretiens. Ce qu'on a pu faire actuellement avec l'appui de l'FMI et le partenaire financier, ce qu'on a pu mettre en place une manuel opérationnel en cas de risque lié aux catastrophes naturelles, tout en plaçant des fonds propres pour pouvoir demain avoir des partenaires qui vont nous financer pour pouvoir jouer sur la résilience. C'est parmi les prérequis qu'on a pu faire jusqu'à aujourd'hui, mais aucun dispositif n'est encore mis en place.
Merci beaucoup pour ce partage d'expérience. One thing we were discussing was the fact that when we talk about confidence and trust from the population, we are talking about not only making payout regularly, but also testing the relevance and the strength of the product that is put on the market. And my question to the regulator was to say, okay, so are there in your respective markets framework that are set up in order to test those kind of product and to make sure that the confidence that is, that we are conveying is not only from a payout perspective, but also from a product perspective, and how efficient are those frameworks?
Yes, we do have frameworks because inclusive insurance, unlike traditional insurance where you have, say, some standard policies. With inclusive insurance, you have several policies and they are common at all times. You can have several of them. So it means that trying to regulate this is different from regulating the traditional mainline, fire, marine, etc. because the products are so different and they are not that similar. So yes, we do try to regulate them, and that's why we have the sandbox system to begin with, where if a product is designed, you share it first with us. We look at it and we see, well, will this product work? We want, and there are certain criteria we want to check to see that this is even something we should accept into the sandbox. One of them is to showcase that other insurance companies are interested in partnering with you, the designer of the product, to share the product. If other insurance companies are interested, then it means that technically it might have some merit. And so we allow you to test it. So it is in the sandbox. So we are being very responsive and yet giving you your innovative to allow new products to come in, but responsible to monitor it for a period to see how this works out. So if we find that more and more it is expanding or scaling, i.e. more and more people are ready to buy the product, then it means that the product is answering a need. And so depending on how the scales and the level that it gets, then we're able to expand a little, give you permission a little, until we are sure that this product is a product to roll out. Sometimes we get a hiccup when it comes to where it is difficult. So there might have been expansion or scale, but from the results, financial results that's come out, we are not too sure whether the customer really understands the product, and that if they did, they will buy the product at the price they are buying it, at the terms and conditions they are buying it, and the level at which they are doing it. So when we are not too sure, we go ahead and carry out a research. So we research and talk to selected clients, or as many of them as possible, that we can, to find out their appreciation and understanding of the product and what can be done to fine-tune the product. So we always testing, but this means that constantly we have to be testing until these products become as acceptable as the traditional policies that we have. And so definitely there's a framework, but let me be quick to add that the framework is still in a learning progress, and we'll keep learning and fine-tuning.
So 2 keywords, safeguarding and agility as well, through those pilots that are allowed. That's very interesting. When we think about collaboration, one thing as well that we definitely have to discuss is about making sure that people on the continent do have not only the knowledge, but the capacity to be able to address the future risk. Is there any, do you see, and I'm asking the question because this is something that is key for us at ARC Limited, do you see, for example, opportunities for cross-continent curriculum development? Do you believe at some point, for example, if I am an actuary and I go to, I attend a school in Cape Town, I attend a school in Comoros, I attend a school in Ghana, I'm able to be recognized as such on various markets. Do you foresee a future where that could be possible at some point?
Yes, I think that is possible, and I would push for that. I've always said that we must collaborate in all forms and in all at all levels. Education is one of them, and knowledge sharing is one of them. So from what you're asking, so if I'm a qualified actuary, say in Mauritius, will I be accepted in Ghana? The question, my answer to that for now, it's not a complete sail through. So probably when you cross country, they will say, oh, you need to take an additional paper or two. Mainly it started with wanting you to understand the terrain under which you'll be operating. So for that, to some level, requiring that the person get some appreciation and understanding of the market in which they are operating in to some level, I think it's acceptable. But when it comes to technical knowledge, I think the technical knowledge can cross levels and can cross divides. I believe that this would happen if we even collaborate on the curriculum that we share as a continent, because most of the skill sets that are coming outside of Africa, and we're accepting them and we're allowing them to work in Africa. So once we can trust that you as a regulator in your country are doing the right thing, and so therefore the regulator in another country is doing the right thing, we can collaborate and ask ourselves, what would you need me to do for you to be comfortable that the skill set that comes from my industry are acceptable to you. And then when we start from that basis, we can agree on a common platform that skill sets with this experience and expertise is okay to travel across our markets and to share. And I think that way we can make the collaboration a bit more meaningful and practical.
If you and I think that's going to be one of my last questions to you. If you could describe the regulator of 2035, what do you foresee as, the role it can bear and how it will help the market, how it will beat that idea that regulator are always a step backward?
Yeah, if I had a future glass that I could go into the future, I want to see a future where regulators use data to make decisions. Their decision is based on real-time data, taking decisions that really answers the lived-in experience of the insurance public, so that people will begin to trust insurance. I would like to see a regulation where there is collaboration across industry, so across the financial sector, the fintech sector, pensions, whichever sector it is that contributes to this industry and make a difference into this industry. I would like to see regulators working collaboratively across sectors, across regions, across the continent. I would like to see a future where regulators ensure that we are not reactive, but we are proactive, that we see the issues before they come and begin to put in place structures today that will ensure that our insured find it easy to move on. A regulator that is not just into supervision and cracking the whip, but a regulator that is holding hands and truly listening to the insurance market and asking, what can I do to make your life better? That's what I want to see. I want to see an industry that gives products that make sense and that is acceptable, that is spoken to, bought by, and developed by the people that we are developing the product for. Products that turn our economy around. Product that provide security and not just profit-based. That's what I would like to see in 2023. And 2030, right? 2035. Yes.
And thank you very much, Commissioner. We hope we'll achieve that by collaborating all together.
Amen.
I'm very honored, really, to have had that conversation with both of you. It has been very enlightening, and I hope this kind of exchanges can be, replicated and also move towards something much more concrete in terms of collaboration, in terms of exchanges, in terms of sharing of actual, challenges and also opportunities. So I'm very honored to have had that conversation with the both of you. Monsieur Abderrahmane, merci beaucoup pour cet échange et pour votre disponibilité. I know we'll keep having the conversation at the retreat, and my vision for 2035 is that we move from talking about collaborating to actually making that collaboration happen. So thank you very much, and thank you for following us, and I hope we'll see you shortly. Thank you very much.